Hello, parents and students of the glass fusing unit. I am going to briefly review some of the hazards of the glass fusing unit so that I can get your permission. And before I get your permission to send these items home, you are aware of what the process involves. And that way you can make the best decision for you and your family, whether or not this would be an appropriate project for your 8th grade student to complete at home. Let's quickly review some of the tools that they will be bringing. They will be bringing, this is called a Maxi Surface Cutting Pad home. And what it does is as you cut glass, you can see it inside there. There are tiny pieces that fly off, and this surface catches all those little pieces of glass if the students work over this. I have seen some students in the past start working, it's easier just to cut on a flat surface, but don't let them do that. We can't do that. We have to cut our glass on this Maxi Surface Cutting Pad. And that way glass shouldn't fly. The next thing students will receive is their own pair of safety goggles. These should be worn unless they have glasses of their own. If their glasses are too small, well then maybe you put these over it. That is at your discretion. When I am wearing my prescription glasses, I only wear the prescriptions, not these, but to be on the safe side, I would recommend putting the safety glasses over. The next tool we work with, this is called a oil hand cutter. This is the actual tool that cuts the glass. Now, this is not the dangerous part of glass fusing because as you can see, I can take this, there's a little teeny part rolling in here, and all this does is score the glass, but you can see it does nothing to my hand. So this will score glass, not skin. You're good there. These are your glass runners. And as you can see here, this is what breaks the glass after you have scored it. So kids will learn how to score glass and then run the glass, run it, break it along that score line. And then last but not least, these are our glass nippers. And what they do is when glass, obviously, as you know, if you've ever broken a glass, it likes to break in pointy, sharp corners and edges. Glass does not want to break in curves or nice circles like this. It just doesn't. So that's why we need these to clip off some of these. So if I wanted something to be round, I would just clip off little by little. Now, here's the other kind of dangerous part of the glass. See, some of it fell down into the Maxi surface. There we go. But you nip off little pieces to make a circle. See, and it just breaks off little by little, not huge chunks. So let's see what glass cutting actually looks like. In order to cut a piece of glass, first of all, how you handle glass, as you know, I don't know if you can see this very sharp edge right here. Do you see how the glass is it comes up on a very thin edge right there? That is your most dangerous piece right there. It is so fine, it's finer than a knife. That's gonna cut you. So what you never ever do is you make sure you never touch glass and hold glass on the side like this. This is super dangerous. Now, I did not go towards that. That would probably have cut me. I don't know. You can see naturally, I go for the glass. I hold it on the middle on this way. All right? See how I grip the glass? It is never on the edges. Second of all, if I cut glass that has a texture, I always want to put the texture on the bottom side, texture down. I hold that against the surface, and if it's transparent glass, I can actually use the surface grid to help me measure. So if I wanted to cut this in half, I know I cut right up this line. So let me show you how to cut. When students cut glass, excuse me, what you're gonna do is you hold it in your hands like this, put your thumb down here. So it's actually called a pistol grip oil hand cutter. And so some kids try to go like this. This is the wrong grip. That's not how we do this. 4 fingers here, thumb on top, and you want to keep this blade perpendicular to the surface of the glass. So you want your blade perpendicular. You don't want the blade angled like this. Again, perpendicular. You're cutting straight up. Now all you have to do is put a little elbow grease into this, which is why we have the surface underneath us. We're going to put a little elbow grease into this. You'll hear it go, you'll hear the score line. I'll show you the score line and then show you how to run that. So here, I'm going to move it over here, and I probably just didn't just cut myself, but I did hold the sides. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to cut it in the middle. I like to hold it, push it down, put this behind put my thumb behind this, because some kids start on the edge, and do you see how easy it is to slide backwards? So I hold this, not the glass. I hold the scoring. Whoops, there we go. Get it up on top of there and push firm. I hope you heard that. So we scored that. You can see, I don't know if you can see that score line there. Do you see the score line? I'm sure you can. So again, the glass has just been just the surface, one little line. Then you take your runners. Do you see the little sad face there? You can either have a happy smile or a little sad face. See a little sad face there? You want it to be sad, because underneath, on top of the sad face here, underneath this, there is a black line. I'm not sure. I will put another black line on top of all these. So the black line, you want that to line up on top of your score line. So my score line is on top. The texture's on the bottom. Score line here. Here's the black line. Do you see how my score line and that black line on my runners are perfectly lined up directly over it? And watch this. Literally, I can do it just between, if I just pinch a little bit, watch what happens. Do you see how much effort? That does not take any effort at all. However, so now we hold these, we put this away, and ta-da, we have just cut glass. That is how to safely cut glass. I can cut it in half again, and they'll be doing that to make their star. This is going to be the very first thing the students make, and this is what I have them make in class with me so that they get their glass cutting certificate. So then they'll cut the pentagon in the middle there for the star. I'm going to put this middle here. Remember, perpendicular. Let me get this out of the way. Here we go. Put it on the glass. Perpendicular. Score that. You can see my score line. I would take my glass runners, make sure I see the black line, line it up with the black line. Now, some kids, I don't know, they try to take it and break it with their fingers. That's not right. All you have to do is line up the black line over the other line, but if it's upside down, that's a problem. Watch this. Do you see? I'm pinching and nothing is happening. So if you notice someone at home is pinching too hard, something's wrong, okay? So what I do is I go back and I feel for there's the score line. It's right there. I feel for that and line it up again, and watch this. Again, one hand, ta-da. Easy to break if you've got your score line. What you don't want to hear in your home is this. Going back and forth. That is not correct. Kids are going to have one chance to make a good score line. You're also able to cut on an angle, a curve. Let's do this. Now again, remember, curving is not natural for glass. So this is where our nippers may come in to play. So I find my black line, I find my score line, I place it right over the score line. I cut, and as you can see, do you see how one piece flew out and it flew into there? Well, that's because my curve started here, it came around, it came over here, but it didn't quite want to continue. I put it over that other line, and I try to, there it is. So again, you're never gonna get a perfectly round, smooth edge, but when glass fuses, which is our end result there by putting it in the kiln and ending up there, when glass fuses, look at that. Do you see how I just took off that rough little corner there? There we go. Take off this rough little corner here. And again, you're just kind of grinding it off little by little. This does create some flying glass, which means you would need to, like a lot of times I end up having to clean up the surface around the cutting area. So if you can keep this somehow out of the way, no kids walking barefoot. We're not in the bathroom cutting glass. We don't want to be anywhere where the pets are going to be walking until you have a chance to clean up. And obviously, quick safety tip, should anybody cut themselves, the thing we tell them to do, the basic first aid, and here is, a lot of kids do get cut. They get tiny little cuts on their fingers. We sanitize everything. We go to the sink, wash it, soap and water. I look at it, and if it looks like a Band-Aid's going to cover it, fine. The nurse knows the unit. We get me 150 Band-Aids, and everybody's, I've cut myself accidentally at times just because I tend to get sometimes a little quick and careless when I'm working really fast. But Band-Aid should do it. And one time in the past, 15 years I've done this, and one student in all of 15 years has required stitches. And that was because they were trying to break it with their hands. And instead of taking the shortcut, instead of using the runners. All right. So, and it was 4 stitches in the palm, I believe, if that's what I recall. But if you follow all of the basic directions and follow the rules of safety, glass fusing is actually a perfectly safe unit, in my humble opinion. If, again, you are treating it with respect that it deserves, much like most things in life. So again, our end result will either be glass fused square platter like this. This is all fused together. So the kids are putting a glass mosaic together, and that's a square. I mean, this is an example of a butterfly image that we started with before, and you just start cutting all of these shapes. That's how we get our images. And this one is a round slump mold. You can see that this one's round. All right, so either a square or a round glass fused project. Instead of doing one 6x6, I also gave the kids options to do 3x3 ornaments. Here's a 3x3 little soap dish, or maybe a little jewelry dish, or maybe, for sushi, wasabi and soy sauce, and what else comes, what other sauce? Oh, ginger. You have 3 little sauce plates, something like that. But again, up to you and whether or not you think your child is capable of doing this safely at home and following all safety protocols of using the supplies that I can loan them. Email me with any questions, call the school, call me, call whoever, get in touch with me. I'm more than happy to answer questions for you, okay? So you take care and let me know how else I can help out. Thanks so much, everyone. Talk to you soon. Looking forward to getting permission to get our kids some more materials at home.